And welcome to this week's edition of Wildin Out. I'm your host, Marty P, and joining me tonight, we have a few of our regular cast members in Dr. Fish and Tom Carter. And we have a special guest as well in Jordan MG. Let's go over to Fish. Fish, how are you doing?
All right, I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for asking. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Tom, I know you came a little
I'm
bit later than
doing.
the rest of us.
Oh yeah, I was confused by the time, but I made it. I'm doing excellent, as tomorrow is my birthday, and I'm a little bit hype about it, as you should.
Happy early birthday then. Glad to hear that. It's
Happy
actually,
Ella's birthday.
yeah, it's actually the next day for me right now. So over here, it's your birthday. So happy birthday to you.
Oh, wait. Oh yeah, time zones are a thing. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
happy birthday. Jordan, thanks for coming on and being a special guest this week. How are you doing?
My pleasure. I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. Everything's going good.
Really glad to have a fellow gamer on board here.
We do be
So
gaming.
we do. Now, we, as always, have a lot to discuss, and we have a new section this week. So let's get into it with Player of the Week. Fish, who is our NA Player of the Week?
Our NA Player of the Week is Risa, from Golden Hand. The Week 6 Player of the Week for Wild NA goes to Risa, who earns the nod for a 3-1 win over over Noe that gave their team the first match win of the season. Gave them their first match win of the season. Helped propel the Golden Hand to their first weekly win as well, a 16-13 victory over the Meta Drool. Hopefully, a sign of good things to come in the second half of the season, and that is write-up is by Dr. BOMD.
Congrats to Risa there. Tom, who do we have for EU Player of the Week?
In EU, we have, I think it's pronounced Fagiron. Am I right?
Feyron. Yeah.
Feyron. Yeah, it's always the EU players whose names I struggle with. But after a solid start, Farion get sorry. After a solid start, our EU Wild Player of the Week struggled to get a win. This all changed when Farion secured an impressive 3-2 against one of the best players, against Battle Tiger, none other, and the captain sealed his spot in the second seed, and that shows why he's an example of a leader, someone you should look forward for a payoff.
Thank you, Tom. And there we have it for the players of the week. Now let's quickly move over to the meta overview from last week and see what everyone brought. So taking a look here, there wasn't really much of a change with Demon Hunter. That's pretty settled as of last week's meta. Remember, this is the final week before the Demon Seed ban, so it was more of the same. Not a lot of shifts outside of Priest. Priest saw 11 fewer brings the previous week, but there was a lot going on within the class in terms of fringe archetypes, including a Dane Miracle Priest, which I believe has a what was it, a 20% win rate on HS replay. Someone can double check that for me, but it was quite the spice. Also had two Boar Priests, one of which we'll be covering later. Outside of that, yeah, it really was, especially when you see what we have to cover right after this. Outside
No,
of Priest, though, we
sorry,
had
no, Ed, I lost to Boar Priest today, and you mentioned it. It's bringing like PTSD. I'm like, oh no, I know why this deck is winning.
oh, just wait until you get the Vietnam flashbacks in a bit, because
Oh God.
yeah, we're gonna have more to discuss on that. But looking at the rest of the classes, some small shifts: Druid, Hunter, Rogue, and Warlock seeing some increases. Paladin, Mage, and Warrior mostly staying the same, plus or minus one brings from last week. And Shaman, like Priest, also dropping a bit with four fewer brings there. Now, we were discussing Boar Priest. Let's talk about our first featured deck on the main screen again. So this is
Oh
from Alb987, and he beat the number one player from Goku number one, Goku himself, with this deck.
Wow.
I don't know how he did it. He said it was good into Warlock and Druid. I said okay. He came back, said he won, said the deck was bad, and then deleted it from his client.
That doesn't seem like the appropriate
oh
response to the
no.
result. He won and then said, "This deck sucks." What?
All I know
I mean,
is
but at
that
least that is somewhat truthful to what we see sometimes when players try to what is the name, bait people into playing unoptimized decks, and at least he's honest and he's like, I won, but the deck sucks. Because I've seen the opposite where it's like, oh no, but trust me, like you see this pile of cards, it won, so you should bring it. And I get baited into bringing like a really bad deck into THL. At least he deleted it.
well, here's the thing with Boar Priest, and I learned this after trying it myself quite a bit. Um, it gets the weapon by turn 7, usually by turn 6, really consistently. It's really good at getting the weapon. The problem is not dying until then. So you can't really beat things like Pirate Warrior, but anything that doesn't win by the time you get the weapon up, you're basically dumpstering them. Like any sort of slower control deck that was basically non-existent last meta, but may or may not come back now that the Demon Seed is gone, is just losing to Boar Priest. This has one of the
Yeah, but
fastest clocks in the game.
Yeah.
You get a very
yeah, but
highly
the thing is,
polarized, like you get a highly polarized spread, but it does have merits in certain lineups and certain targets. You were saying, Tom?
yeah, but the thing that I hate about the Boar Priest kind of deck is that it doesn't win on the spot, right? So I may get the weapon and I manage myself to survive to turn 7, but that doesn't win me the game immediately, and that's something that I found iffy as someone that loves combo decks. it's like, yeah, it is kind of like a combo deck, but it doesn't win on the spot, and it lacks that thing, you know.
Well, that's the thing.
It
Like
feels
you're
like a TTK.
Yeah, well, you're gonna lose to, Pirate Warriors that just don't kill you by then and then just kill you the next turn because they don't need mana. They have a board. But anything that's slower is gonna have a very hard time against these things.
Can't play any cards.
Yeah. If you can't play cards, how are you gonna win?
I don't often read the bug notes section of patch notes, but is Grave Ruin still bugged?
I don't think so.
No,
Is it still a
I was
house?
wondering the same thing, but no, it's fixed. It wasn't
Okay.
fixed this patch. It was fixed the other, not the other one. So no nerfs. It was fixed with no nerfs in the patch. I think it was an
Yes.
only battlegrounds patch.
Okay, that makes sense. Good to know. Any other comments before we check out the second feature deck?
Is Boar Priest
As
just like, I feel like
always,
this deck's just the best meme deck, right? Of all the meme decks. Like, this deck's
It
not that
feels like
bad.
the best meme deck.
Legitimately can win games, I think.
I think that sums it up pretty well.
Yeah, it's the best meme deck out there. And without Seedlock, it might become, I don't know, it might become an actual playable deck if you want to, like, stay the same rank at the very least.
Yeah. Really, it is quite the spice. And it won, so
Yeah.
who knows?
Incredible.
All right, let's take a look at our second deck featured. This one comes from our player of the week as well, Feyron. And it's Gallocron Warrior.
Hmm.
So this is pretty straightforward. We've seen builds similar to this in the past. Not really any new cards here, but we wanted to showcase it because Gallocron Warrior is a bit slept on for the last few months. And seeing it still get wins shows, hey, maybe you can still play your old decks from the past. Or whatever that means. Who knows? Ask the
yeah,
devs.
that phrase it sounds more like an insult than anything else at this point.
I mean, I'm sure Jay Alex has something to say about it, but who knows?
Playing
He doesn't
conditioning in a
even.
Seedlock meta seems
I don't
insane.
even. I don't even want to get into the drama. The only thing that I find funny is that he had on his stream the fuck priest text, like I think it was covering like the whole screen. It wasn't. I don't remember if it was fuck priest or fuck Ilusha, and now it's done.
Who
We no
knows?
longer have Ilusha.
All I know, I don't watch a stream. I don't have depression as a result. I don't rage on Twitter as a result from that. And instead, I get to talk about
Gallo
meme
Warrior.
decks like Gala Warrior, if
Yeah.
that can even be considered a meme.
We love some Gallo decks.
I have to imagine this is the kind of deck that just goes like an entire tier up as a result of the last patch, right?
Most likely.
Yes, it goes from tier 9 to tier 8. Yeah.
Oh, really?
You're, you're
It
I don't
seems
think
correct.
it's
alright.
that.
No, it's not that bad.
This will definitely give some even warlocks some trouble depending on the build. If they can't taunt up their giants, then you just have to smack them in the face and they die. Bombs are also a big problem for them. So
Yeah.
I
Brandon
wouldn't
the
call this
Clockwork
tier 8.
Goblin. Incredible.
The spice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Especially
there
if
you have
Reno
it.
decks come back. That's a great way to punish them.
Really is. Well, there you have it for featured decks this week. And now we have our match recaps. So let's over to the Brown Conference. Take a look at the standings first. Jordan, you want to tune us into how the standings in the Brown Conference are?
Sure. The current standings are pretty interesting. We have basically the bottom four teams are all basically at the same amount. They're all in the 70s, all kind of around each other. But there's a decent spread between them and the top three. There's the top two teams they raced each other last week. Currently both tied 105 points. Aussie Paint Merchants and everyone's a winner. And then in third place, fighting for the playoffs in the bye is Nofin 2 Underwater Boogaloo. Other than them though. I don't like know how fast you actually get points, but it looks like there's quite a spread between the top 3 and the bottom 4, which as a result, I would imagine the top 2 are pretty safe for playoffs at this point, if not already guaranteed.
Yeah, I would say the same as well. Especially 6 weeks in, it's unlikely that both of them drop from 4 teams below them getting so many points. So,
Yeah.
congrats to them. And really, they're just fighting for seeding at this point, like you said.
Looks like I subbed in for the right team to join the
I
winning
guess
team. How
so.
about that?
I guess so. You too can be a winner.
Yeah, you just sub in for the people who earned the record before you. Easy clap.
Well, speaking of winners, let's take a look at our first matchup between Mancrick's Revenge and the Pog Merchants. Tom,
Hell
you're on the
yeah.
Pog Merchants.
I
Tell
am
us
in the
about
Boar
your week.
Merchants. This was, I want to say, personally, kind of a rough week because I thought the nerfs were last week, so I forgot to submit decks on Wednesday. So I had a rollover, and I wasn't 100% confident in my decks, to be honest. I managed to win against Sav. His LPG mage couldn't get me. More so than over, on the first seed, Scalibrine against Sinister Me. Sinister Me taking the win, 32. Marshambu is actually carrying our team. He replaced Base.
Oh no, did we lose Tom?
Yeah, just DC'd.
Oh,
We
okay.
just lost Tom. I guess I'll pick up for him. Yeah, Martian came in and replaced Pace midway through the season, and as we see, 3-1 now. So he's going to be getting the 1 seed as of this current week. So congrats to him. Great showing, really. Awful Artist fell 2-3, and Charup getting the sweep over PCDS, Praise Chicken Drumstick. Really, just looking at this, even when these players 2 points, and that's huge. And I think that really contributed to why they were able to come on top so comfortably against Mancrick's Revenge this last week. This brings them to a tie despite having different records. So they're both in the playoff race, and Bog Merchants is really getting there now. So look out for them trying to fight their way into the bubble.
And for the buy-in.
Yeah. Tom,
Yeah.
welcome back. Just finishing up the recap for you. Do you have any other comments? We just covered the
Oh,
matches.
I
Okay.
don't know where I got cut off. Oh damn.
You got cut off just as you were about to talk about Martian. We
Oh,
covered Martian coming.
I said so much. Never mind then. No,
It's all good.
I'm getting problems because the server of the call is like really far away from me.
It's all good. No worries. Let's just go on to the next one.
I'm sorry.
You're good. Don't worry. Fish, you want to tell us about No Fin 2 versus Everyone's a Winner?
Yeah, I would quite enjoy that. So this was a super close match. Only 3 points separated these teams. Up in the 1, Tagger took a 3-1 win over Glare. Sunday took a win over Rice Bowl in the 2. 6J 3-2 over Seth. They played some very interesting decks. That's pretty cool to see these guys bring back some older decks and have some fun with it. And then in the 4, we had EPT Hopper taking a 3-2 over Hazer, and Tiger Eye taking a 3-1 win over our special guest Jordan. I'm probably not the best person to give full insight on it, so if Jordan has any comments he wants to
I was unsuccessful in sweeping seed 2 weeks in a row. Really unfortunate stuff there.
Gotcha.
I got 1 win against the seed with my rogue, and my Ignite Mage and my Malleus Sword could not beat the seed, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the rest of the matchups, though, not much to be said. I do believe there was a few like arrangements with lineups, so there might be some like off meta decks in here. But it was fair on both sides either way because both people were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there's some pretty fun Hearthstone that happened this week.
I'm pretty sure Sunday and Rice Bowl both brought the Tagger lineup.
I believe they did. Yes.
It looks like Tagger also brought the Tagger lineup. Galera
Yeah, so
with
a couple of
slightly
people like
different.
agreed. There's certain people that like agreed before the match to bring either like a meme lineup or a Tiger lineup or like old decks from the past stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Funnily enough, I asked Tiger Eye if he wanted to do anything similar. He said no, let's play a normal match, and then he brought the Tiger lineup anyway, and I lost to it.
Yeah,
So that's fortunate.
In Burnt Court, he is Tagger Eye.
Yeah, I mean the Tiger lineup's not bad.
Ah, Tagger lineup's good.
Like the Druid, I killed me on turn 5.
Yeah, it's a
with
good
a 30
deck, for
attack
sure.
board. It's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Paladin's probably the most questionable deck choice of there, but in Conquest, it's fine. It can steal a win against quite a few things.
Yeah, for sure. The Paladin being an odd Paladin deck in the lineup.
But yeah, other than that, we are. That's not much to say there. I'm happy to see that our team won when I did not perform as well as I would have liked.
Yeah, it seems like we're having a lot of tech difficulties with things. The NHL is having internet problems as well as Tom. So I guess I will be doing most of the taking over from here. And then Jordan and I can go ahead and kind of go back and forth on things. So next up, we're gonna go into the Green Conference. And we have our leaderboard standings. We have in first place we have Hair Club, who's undefeated, the only undefeated team in all of NA Wild. We have F12 Viridian sitting in second. They have reclaimed second place. Meta Droolers get at 100 points. We have Overpowered Wild Leaderboard, or Owl, at the and 1 point away. They're at 88, and then 1 point from them is Mad Scientists. So that seems to be like kind of our consensus teams, and Owl and Scientists are gonna have to be very likely fighting it out with the Brown Conference teams to make that final playoff spot. And then Golden Hand at 61 and Usual Suspects at 52. But Golden Hand did get their first win this week. Talk about that in a little bit here.
Always exciting.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that now, actually?
Yeah, we can. So if you want to go ahead and run down, this is my team, but I will let you run down the scores.
Sure. This looks like a pretty exciting win for them. A lot of names I recognize on here. 1 seed, we have Pasca defeating Lasagna, future GM, 3-2. And second, we had Rami versus Qwerty, losing 2-3. And we had Hyperin versus Connor. Connor won 3-2. Following that was Fish. Look at you, dude. You won 3-2. Nice. Yeah. Nicely done. And in the final seed, we have Risa versus No Way, and Risa won that.
Yeah.
This is an impressive showing from your team.
Thanks. Yeah, we have an actual GM, an actual America's GM on our team in Rami. He's been
the only person you brought Demon Hunter.
Look at that. Yeah, he's been bringing like Brute DH with a couple of extra spicy stuff. That's
spicy. Bring the standard decks and just throw some wild cards in there. Call it a day.
Yeah, exactly. He's running like Consume Magic, which, you know, if the standard version could run Consume Magic, that would be like. But I mean, my match actually went 6 games. We actually tied. Quest Hunter versus Shadow Priest. I think Godbout. I don't think Godbout had enough damage to lethal me. Without me being able to lethal him the next turn, so we played Shadow Bomber when we had 3 and 2 health respectively and tied the match.
Wow.
How do I change the server? It's actually changing to EU Central. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's best for NHL and Tom, but you can change it in the top right of the call to whatever you think is best.
Yeah, why don't we try
What do you think is best?
Why don't we try it in EU so that way Marty can get back in? It was giving us issues in the US East for both of them, which is interesting. That tends to be a pretty good spot for everybody.
Well, they're both overseas, right?
Tom is in, I believe
I'm in
Tom is
South
in
America.
South America.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So USC should have been better than Newark, right?
I know, yeah.
So
Are you back?
I mean,
Try US
we-
East again, but Tom
we could
DC'd
do
that, right?
we could do Brazil.
Try that.
That
Yeah.
would be
Yeah, try that for sure.
It's
Yeah,
Brazil now, I think.
okay.
yeah.
I don't know if it's much different for me. I have pretty good internet.
Yeah,
It might be a
I have
little
good
laggy,
internet,
but
so it wouldn't matter
yeah,
for me where I am.
thanks, lag.
Yeah. We just got finished talking about the first Green Conference match.
Shout out to their whole team banning Warlock. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, my opponent didn't bring Warlock, so I didn't have to ban it. I ended up banning his APM Tog. He brought an APM Tog Druid.
Oh, you're right. It says Warlock ban on the sheet, but he didn't bring Warlock.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
pretty funny.
Oh yeah, he banned my Warlock.
Oh,
I
that's
didn't
what it
even.
was. Yeah.
I actually didn't. I didn't
Across the
bring
board.
Seed this week either. I was quite surprised at the ban. Because I brought
What'd you bring?
Even Lock.
Yeah,
I
that
guess.
is maybe a little weird.
Yeah, I mean it was fine. Either way, his Shadow Priest did not win against Mali Druid, Pirate Warrior, or Quest Hunter. But it was a really good match. It was nail biting all the way through. But
It's exciting.
enough about my match. We have one more match to talk about, and I'll let Tom go through this.
So we have Owl against Mad Scientist. With Mad Scientist taking the win 16-8 on the first seed. Number Theory having a sweep against Turtle 3-0. I'm surprised Turtle didn't ban the Warlock. I may go back and check, but I'm surprised because unless it was like even luck, pretty much every time we see Warlock, it's banned all across the board.
Mm-hmm.
But here we have an exception, and well, apparently it worked out for number 3 taking the sweep. Then we have Catharsis against Nice Jewish Owl, with Catharsis taking the win 3-1. And I'm surprised by the lack of Warlock actually on the Owl team. Only 2 players brought it, and it got banned only once. Interesting. Then we have on the third seed Possible Hope against Bethernum, with Possible Hope sweeping Bethernum 3-0. Then we have Hello 547 against Nomad Farmer, with Nomad Farmer taking the win 3-1. And finally, on the 5th seed, we have Gennarium Battle against Kenray.
Oh, and Tom just disconnected.
Well, this server didn't work.
Hello. I am back. We lost Tom, but I'm back, so it's fine.
Yes.
Just to recap what Tom was saying. Hello, 547 lost 1-3 to Nomad Farmer,
Mhm.
and Kenray took a 3-2 win over Geranium Battle. One other thing I want to mention, the Possible Hope win was a DQ win over Metronome. Unfortunate to see, but as we know, that results in 3-0s.
Yeah, it's interesting because they actually banned. I guess they banned it, and I guess something happened where they ended up not playing.
Yeah. So very strange, but that's what happened.
Yeah.
So really, it's just a shame because mad scientists are fighting tooth and nail right now.
Mm-hmm.
Still 1 point behind Owl in the standings, and they lost what could have been those extra points to get above Owl in a DQ loss. So you hate to see it. Don't miss your games. Make sure you make them.
Yeah.
Also there to say. So now we have our new section to discuss. player power rankings. And unlike Hearth Center, because I don't want people to pay me, we have numbers to go along with them. Jordan, I was going to have you do it, but I've been gone for a while and you guys were so kind to cover for me while I was gone. So I can go over some of these on the player power rankings. First up are honorable mentions. We have Axibon, Burnt, Slad, Possible Hope, and Conneria. Maxi having 16 par and Conneria having 11 par. These guys just missed the top 10 cut within NA. And if you want more, if you want to make it, just keep winning. Face other good players, beat them, and you'll get on top. This time you don't have to pay Donde though. As you see, the numbers are right there. Now we get to the top 10. Starting at number 10, Concerned Mom at 17 par. Number 9, Sunday. He's 4-1 so far. 8, we were just discussing, Catharsis. 5-1 with a 16-10 game record. 7 is Slate. Then number 6, White Delight. White Delight getting popular recently because he brought double Dirty Rat in his Reno Shaman. So not quite Reno Shaman.
What a gamer.
Yeah.
Truly. Number 5, Number Theory, who we were also just discussing. Number 4, 5-1 as well. 23 par. Battle Tagger. There's a reason why everyone steals the Tagger lineup. And there it is. Number 3, Bone Masher at 25 par. Number 2, the Finnish star Lasagna, who just recently qualified for Master Tour. Congrats. Glad that can stick for you. And finally, at the top, we have Corbett, 31 par, 6-0, the only undefeated player left in NA. Congrats to you.
Congratulations
Truly.
to Mr. Games.
Is there a Corbett Games
Yes.
signature lineup out there? We should probably be stealing
Yeah,
that
I
one.
Still Corb stuff.
That
Something, go face.
Yeah.
Me go face, me play around your file. He was talking a little while back about
Really
how
an
he's
impeccable
played so much
strategy.
aggro. He's played so much aggro in Wild the last 4 years that it's just second nature to play around Defiled no matter what class he's up against.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
Weird.
impressive. But,
I don't imagine he'll lose
there you
to
have
even not very often with that game plan. Like the whole game
Probably
plan.
not. Yeah. Once again, there you have it. That is the power rankings for Wild Series NA this week. We'll have more updates next week. If you want to rise up on the rankings, just keep winning. Don't worry about paying Donde. As you can see, numbers are all there. Now, we have match recaps in the EU up next. Fish, I've been asking so much of you tonight. I have one more thing to ask of you. Can you tell us about the EU Wild standings?
I can. Figure for so in first place, remaining in the top 2 spots is a little agony and EU everyone's a winner.
Yes.
It's so hard
yes.
it's hard to put that
You
together.
for once a winner.
Yeah, everyone's a winner. But with everyone's a winner having one extra win, but a little agony getting more points per week. Followed by F12 Celadon, Goku number 1, Safari Wild, and in last place we have Bad Tech Cards. This series has pretty clear divide with the top 4 and then the bottom 2. I think F12 Celadon could definitely be a team that competes because they're only 11 points out of first, and they can slowly but surely climb up to higher rankings. And I'm pretty sure we're getting into our second set of round robin at this point, which, for those who don't know what round robin is, each team plays each other twice this season. So I think that the teams are starting to play each other again. Oops, switching the things. But all right, we have our first match up on the screen. It looks like Jordan is the one to go ahead and talk to us about this one.
We have another team that banned Warlock across the board.
Yeah,
I'm gonna miss seeing that. What a nice,
Why.
what a time to be alive with Wild Hearts 10, man.
Yeah.
You have whole teams that just ban Warlock without thinking.
Mm-hmm.
In the first seed, we have Maxodon versus the sub Elfie Delphi, with Elfie Delphi winning 3-2. Second seed, we have Battle Tagger subbing in EU. Oh,
Before you go on, there's something we should mention about the Maxodon versus Elfie matchup.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
They had a little gentleman's agreement in the
Mm.
THL server for this week, or for last week, I should say. They brought 4 Reno decks,
Nice.
but each deck had 1 set of duplicates.
That's awesome.
So Reno Lock with duplicates got banned. Interesting. And then LPG Reno or normal Reno got banned from the other side. That's pretty funny. I
Yep.
like that.
So just wanted to point that out.
Not banning Reno Priest is wild, unless like maybe Dirty Rats you're too interesting.
I
Yeah,
mean, maybe
that sounds about
it was Quest Reno Priest.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It could be anything of Reno. Yeah, that's only one of the 29, throwing out the 30 cards there.
Mm-hmm.
Second seed, Fayeron versus the sub from the NA team, Battle Tagger. He's so good he decided to play in the EU server too, I guess. But unfortunately, he lost 3-2 to Fayeron. The third seed, we have Adrian's Sweeping Engine. Fourth seed is Cubby versus Mewtwo M, with a 3-1 win for Cubby. And then Lasagna sweeps Destruct in the final seed, resulting in a 16-9 win for EU Ver1's winner.
That keeps them well into second place.
Yes, that will.
So
They are indeed
congrats
winners.
to them. Could say that. So on to the next. Tom. Goku may be number 1, but what happened in our next matchup here?
Well, Goku number 2, maybe? So Goku number 1 lost against F2L Celadon 11-13, with Goku getting swept by Alv 987 on the first seed. Then we have Others on the second seed, losing 3-2 against Lorthos. On the third seed, we have our homie, the Rotted Zombie, winning against Bedreams 3-1. On the fourth seed, we have Shadow Frog sweeping Copa. That means 3-0. And on the last seed, we have Burnt against Rebobson, with Rebobson taking the win 3-1. Really close week, even though we have 2 sweeps because of the scores. They are only 1 point apart. And
2 points.
I really like the table. Like, if you look at the squares, everyone brought like the same classes almost, and they all submitted in the same order, which I always find I don't know, it's maybe my OCD talking, but I love it.
Well then, with that matchup taken care of, we have player power rankings in the EU series as well. So let's take a look at that. And we'll start with the Audible Mentions once again. So from bottom to top, first Shadow Frog at 3-3. Yerna also at 3-3. Otters at 3-2. Lasagna, yes, the same Lasagna at the top in NA at 3-3. Then QB at 4-2, we were just discussing. Now we move to the top 10. Goku at number 10. Rod at 9. Adrian, Mr. Luke, and Lorthos taking up the 8th, 7th, and 6th spots, all with 12 par. Number 5, Maxodona at 13 par. The Rat at 20 with a 4-2 record. Matt Thanos at number 3, 20 par as well at 5-1. Then Tauntus Cheat, 22 par. And then Alb987, well ahead of the pack at 34 par. The highest between both series right now.
Wow.
What an absolute man.
The only other player in Wild right now, it's 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
So congrats to all
With
these
Boar
players.
Priest.
Yeah. Boar Priest of all decks. Truly impressive.
I'm gonna grab that deck list real quick.
Yeah, clearly it can't be that bad.
Tom, I don't want any DMs later about how you lost 500 ranks playing Boar Priest.
I lost. I never DM anyone when I lose, and you know it.
I'm just saying,
It is.
I don't want to open up Discord and see you complaining about Boar Priest making you bleed ranks. So
No.
He'll get it back with Warlock,
Don't
I'm
mind
sure.
me.
It's impressive
But
that
really-
Budget Lasagna is 3-3 and is an honorable mention because he has like a really, really limited collection in Europe, from what I've been told.
no. His collection is limited on NA. EU is his main server.
Oh, wait, so he's doing better with his budget collection? That's
I mean,
That is-
last season
that's
he was
impressive.
doing really poorly on NA, so I'm glad he's keeping up the pace.
maybe
Maybe
is
he
indeed
crafted
the region.
new things. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, once again, congratulations to all players on here.
Yeah.
And if you want to rise, just keep winning.
It's
So-
that easy.
It really is. And we have
Mhm.
our final segment of the night. And that is the question of the week. Every week, we have a question to ask our hosts. We go over it real quick and give some ideas to the rest of the audience. So for this week, we saw a ban on the Demon Seed as well as a bunch of other changes. And I want to know, what deck do you guys think will return to Wild with the Demon Seed ban? Fish, we'll start with you.
Oh boy. I am not. I get to do a ton of thinking about this deck, about this question. There's certain decks that I might have thought would come back, but the more I think about it, the more I think that it's probably not gonna come back. I think I mean, I guess Kingsbane is probably the deck that will get to come back. It wasn't really that. It was just a bit too slow with Seed Lock. So maybe there's a spot for it to come back now.
Potentially.
I think there's quite a few people that would want Kingsbane to come back. Who knew? Or who knows?
Oh, you filthy aggro fanatics.
Kingsbane's more of a combo deck. You play cards and you throw it face. You don't really.
Every
There's no
deck
aggro
is a
there.
combo deck if you think about it, but that's not the point. It
It's
is
an aggro mid-range combo face deck, dude.
no
Incredible stuff.
mid-range. Why did you have to throw the word mid-range in there? It is a
Against Dark
boardless-
Lair, it's a control deck because by going face, you're limiting their mana crystals. So you're controlling.
What the? I don't even.
Kingsbane's really an all-around, but really an all-around deck.
He's
Really.
just-
I don't even want to get into it. No.
Samantha, the
Alright.
joke
No.
is that labels are irrelevant. Yeah, but Kingsbane is probably a playable deck.
Here's hoping. Tom, what do you want to see come back? Or what are you hoping comes back?
Honestly, the only thing that I think will come back is Secret Mage, and I don't want to do. I don't like the deck. I was glad it was dead. Every time Secret Mage is dead, the meta goes to shit. But I feel happy inside.
Yeah, it's a worthy cause.
No, I fucking hate Secret Mage.
Secret
But
Mage
I know
can
it's
go, yeah.
coming back. But I feel like the meta is at a certain point where the space between tiers, like between decks that are tier 1 and tier 2, is getting more and more. They are getting more and more distant, and with Quest Pirate Warrior, Quest Hunter, Glare still being a thing, I think we are at a point where Reno decks are really, really, really hard to make viable. I know some people are playing Reno even Warlock, but that's more even Warlock than Reno. So with Reno Paladin, I saw Killer Raccoon got top 300 with it. But then again, it was like hand buff Reno Paladin, sorry. So I don't think we are going to see any LPG, maybe some Reno lock, but Reno needs a little bit more to come back.
You know, funny you say that because I was gonna say Reno Lock is coming back.
Yeah,
Reno
no,
Lock is a way of
Reno lock is coming back, but it's not the same mount as before, and again, it's on a lower tier because the new decks, like, you can raise Reno lock, you can afford to play those turns against Gul'dan with Rokara in Quest Warrior, and you can even afford to keep playing with Quest Hunter against Reno Lock.
I don't know. Still think there's a chance it comes back. Looking forward to seeing how many people decide to bring it in THL this week. So.
Oh yeah,
It's
this
certainly
week
better
is
as a
going to
conquest
be a
deck than a ladder deck.
mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, after such big nerfs, always you can see it more in conquest than in ladder. The decks we are going to see this week are going to be, I don't want to say awful, but they are going to be all across the spectrum. We are going to see everything and anything, which
And it
is
should make
good,
for an exciting time.
and it's also
Yeah, it's gonna be fun either way.
Yeah.
Jordan,
I mean, you still have 24 hours to submit your decks for THL, so yeah, like if you want to bring whatever.
well, EU is submitting within the next 10
already-
minutes.
Yeah, EU has to get their submission. NA has a few more hours.
Yes.
Yeah, he has quite a
Anyways.
few. And it is.
Anyways, Jordan, you were the only one we didn't ask left. What do you think is coming back with the Demon Seed ban?
I think there are a lot of decks that can come back. The bar for like what deck, like the amount of good decks is so low right now, like because we had like hardly any that were playable before. One deck I'm curious about is Odd Demon Hunter. There was like about a day when the expansion came out where we got to see how strong cards like Metamorphin were before everyone realized that Seedlock was the deck you should be playing. And in that, 20 hours of Odd DH, that card seemed like quite the house. So I'm curious if Odd DH can come back. I don't necessarily like love that deck, but I think it could probably come back. And as well as like something in Shaman that isn't just like hope you have enough damage out of hand. Like I think Control Shaman and God forbid maybe even Murlocs could win some games. I think it's quite exciting. There's a lot more decks you can play now, even if some are tier 3 and tier 3.
I think Flurgle Toxfin is going to be a pretty good combo.
Yeah, that combination that's tutorable is quite the house.
Oh yeah, that's coming. That's also coming back. Damn.
That's arguably the best board clear in the game.
Yeah, and I think, and I also think that I think that Mindbreaker seems to be a card that people are playing around with in certain archetypes, for decks like Odd Hunter.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
You might throw an Reno deck these days. You have 30 card slots. Just chuck one in there.
I mean, a lot of Reno decks are very tech heavy, so you'll see cards like that.
I don't know. Why are we playing Mindbreaker when we can just play Finley Wizard?
I don't know.
Yeah, Finley Wizard.
You can do it if you want. Hey, bad tech cards.
I don't have. Well, if you don't have
but
one of
they're
them,
referring
or
to a
both of
certain.
them.
Oh yeah, it's
those bad tech
back.
cards are referring
You
to.
clearly you run all three. You run
Essentially.
Mindbreaker to stall till you draw your Grizzled and your Finley, and then you play your Grizzled Finley.
Yeah.
Incredible. What a deck.
Legendary.
Grizzled Finley and Mindbreaker and 27 draw cards. Easy cloud.
Dang.
Oh, I think that covers just about everything here.
It does.
So,
Yeah.
thanks again, everyone. Thank you, Fish, for upping this. Thank you, Tom, for coming. Jordan, thank you for guesting on the show. I hope you enjoyed it. And thanks, everyone, for watching and listening to the VOD. we don't really have too much in terms of news. We hope that everyone enjoys the new meta. It's basically expansion week all over again for Wild.
Woo!
If you want your game
Yay.
streamed, hit up Saku, me, Fish, or Lotus Knight, and we'll set you up on stream. It's always a great time. And I'm done selling out. So thanks again. And we will see you guys next week. Take care.
Take care. We'll have
Bye-bye.
we'll have one streamed match in about 2 hours. So come back for some, I believe it's Pro Series. Oh no, it's a I'm pretty sure it's a legacy match. But we have a match coming in a couple hours. So I'll come back for that, and we'll see you all then.
Until then, take care.